Here we go. So easy to go live. So easy to join. Welcome to While You Wait, the podcast that you listen to while you wait for your EV to charge, or while you wait for your wife to be done with her shower, or while you wait for your husband to get back from his bromance in the woods. Doesn't matter. As long as you're waiting, well, this is for you right here, right now. No, that's not. I heard this thing about the RAV4, RAV4 in French. It's kind of like I guess you could say it's an SUV. I think, yeah. So this truck slash SUV slash car, that is made by, if I'm not mistaken, Toyota. Is it Toyota? Yes, it's Toyota. I need to fact check everything now. This is such a complex job. So I heard this on the news podcast that I listen to, which actually is not a podcast. It's really just the news that they put in a podcast format because everybody listens to podcasts nowadays. So that's what they do. And they were saying that the hybrid RAV4 by Toyota was going for more than a new one. Like if you're buying right now a RAV4 that is completely new, it's going to cost you less than the actual used one. Why is that? So it's a bit more complex than just like, oh my god, you can finally sell a car more than what you paid for at the end. No, it's not a Rolex. It's not like you're going to be able to do that all the time. But there's a whole bunch of like stuff that's happening in the world right now that made it so that this became possible. And I'm talking about the hybrid. That's also a very important point because, well, you've got EVs and then you got hybrids. So completely electric vehicles are different than hybrids, of course, just in, well, the language, but also in the way that they work, right? A hybrid, you still need to put gas in. Either you're putting gas because you have dual, so you have the battery that you use to kind of like under 50 kilometers per hour, or like in the Chevy Volt, the battery needs the gas generator to work. So it's kind of so that one's a weird because it's not an hybrid, but it kind of goes under that. Um, so there are a few different ways, but the the all hybrid system again is a bit different. It allows you for more if you want to actually put gas in your vehicle, and then it cuts down the price of the gas if you can recharge it at home. Because for most people, electricity is cheaper than gasoline. Yeah. So that's how it goes. Now, let me give you some fun facts for pricing and pricing points because I've got them here. The thing that happened is that the 2025 RAV4 Hybrid Limited, that has, let's say, 5,600 miles. Okay, so that one is one that I found listed, okay, like online to purchase right now if you want one. And it's listed for $48,590. That's like $6,040 over the original price that this person paid for this RAV4 2025 Hybrid Limited. So it goes for more than a brand new 2026. And okay, I found another one just because like one is never enough. So a 2024 XSE with 29,000 miles, that's a bit more. I mean, which makes sense. It's a bit older. At CarMax, listed for $46,998 when a new one is listed for $38,735. So it's a bit crazy, right? To think that because of the offer and demand, of course, it's always that, and because of the price of gas, and because of a few other things, well, this vehicle is now selling for more than some people bought it originally. Usually, we've all heard this, but like, you buy a vehicle, you drive it out of the parking lot of the, how's it called? The vehicle dealer, that word, the dealer, and bam, it's worth half of what you paid for it. Like, just from you driving it out of the dealer's parking lot. And even like some of the places that I see, especially on road trips like this one, where you see like, oh yeah, stop paying your monthly loan. We give you cash for your car. Well, that is in the event that the worth of your car is more than what you owe on the loan. Which I think is kind of rare in most cases. Now, not for the RAV4, of course, but let's say for my Tesla Model X 2016, I owe about now, let's round it up to $36,000 on the loan, but it is worth maybe 25 if I'm really lucky. Like if I push it. And the dealer will only offer me, what was it, like 17? Yeah, the dealer.
But maybe because it's got free electricity.
Yes.
Worth more, but now that the war is over.
Well, yeah, so that's the thing. So that means that even if you were to want to sell one of your old EVs, and the battery and the depreciation and all of that, of course, we all know. The newer models, of course, are faster to charge, they have more range, and then they have more of the tech. Now, these cars, when they first came out, like the Tesla, it was, some people compared it to like a car that is actually a phone or like an iPhone. And so you bought it not really just for the planet, but you bought it because you were a geek. You bought it because you wanted all the tech that came in it. And it's still like that. I mean, the newer models of Tesla can drive themselves. Now, hybrid, same but different. If you have a newer car, in general, it has more features. It's just like that. This is the way the world goes. Now, you can take extra butter features if you want to and climb up that number to as much as you can. But in general, what comes with the car on a newer vehicle is still gonna be more than the vehicle from last year. So I don't know if you heard about this, but if you did, drop a comment, because I thought it was quite fascinating. And then, so what is really happening? Toyota has about 5 days of new RAV4 inventory. So that's not a lot. Like 5 days of inventory? This is like very slim, right? And the industry average is about 62 days, meaning that they're very well below. And also, that would mean that like you still have to push them out. So once they're built, you have to bring them to the dealers and all of that. So they're kind of empty. Meaning there's waiting lists for the new RAV4. J'arrête pas de dire RAV4 dans ma tête. I'm reading it in French. So because of this waiting list, which is not new, I mean, when we wanted to buy our first electric vehicle, we were looking at Tesla, of course, and then we went and looked at the Leaf and at the Chevy Volt. And there was no wait time for the Volt, but the Leaf, that one had about a 2-year wait time. They didn't have it in stock, so you had to pre-order it. And now, of course, Tesla Model 3s had to be pre-orders, Cybertrucks had to be pre-orders. Even now, if I would want a new car like the Tesla, I would have to go on the site, and if I can check if there's some used ones. But in general, you need to order it, and that's about 10 to 12 weeks to get it. Now, 12 to 12 weeks is not that bad. It's not like 2 years, right? It's about like 2-3 months, which can make sense. But for some people, like planning 2 years ahead, that's crazy. That's a lot. So that means that when there's no new ones to buy, everyone fights over the used ones and the price climbs. Yeah, offer and demand. So since the RAV4, also you should know, not in its hybrid version, but in its like normal RAV4 version, is one of the most sold vehicle in North America. So there's like the Ford F series, so 150s, Super Duty, and all that. There's the RAV4, and there's another one that I forget. But it's kind of like it's a mix between like a, you have some soccer mom space, but it's a bit cooler than an actual Odyssey van. So I think that's maybe why that this one is out there, and it is not that expensive too. It's still pretty on a good, like under 40K is pretty good for a car, like a family car, with lots of space and high on wheels. So that's kind of my take on it. Twice in one day, yes, twice in one day. Well, because I'm in the car right now, and we just shot the Bigfoot. It was supposed to be a motel, but then motel flipped into this kind of a mountain retreat in Hope, which is a sort of big cabin and all of that. So that episode of motel became me hunting for a Sasquatch. I have to say, I did find one, so you should go look to that episode. And then we went, and we're on our way back from Revelstoke to shoot a Piper Unplugged documentary. So that happened, and I'm just in the car, crossing over, like my ears are going to Hope again. Yeah, because there's only like a few places where you can not just charge, but Canada is like big and long. So this is where we're at. We're close to Hope. We're gonna go charge there, and that's what's happening, and then head back to Vancouver. Okay, so yeah, the twist. So the 2026 RAV4 is hybrid only, which you would say is good for a lot of people. I mean, like Alberta, if you live in Alberta and you have an electric vehicle, like full electric we're talking, you need to pay the $200, oh, tunnel. It might cut. We'll see if it comes back or not. So okay, I'm gonna wait for it. Let's buffering. Yeah, it's gonna reconnect. Aha! It reconnected. Perfect. So yeah, as I was saying, so if you live in a province like Alberta, what I learned when we went there is that if you own an electric vehicle, then you have to pay a tax, a $200 tax every single year. They charge it to you because there's a tax at the pump to maintain the roads. And so gas car drivers pay this tax without really knowing it. This is kind of included in the price of the gas in Alberta. But if you're an EV driver, then you never go put gas, so you never pay that road tax. And that's why they charge it to you on the yearly basis. And that's on the yearly. But there's like a loophole. If you have an hybrid, not an EV, so if your car is under the hybrid, then you don't pay that because you're going to put some gas, maybe less, of course, than a gas vehicle. But let's be real. If you have a F-150, like Super Duty, of course, maybe you're going to even put diesel in it, depending. And then if you have a little Yaris, or like a small car, a very, very small car, like the Spark or something like that, this tiny car, well, you're not going to pay that much road tax anyways, because you're not going to fill up a lot. And also your car is not that heavy, so you might not break the road as much as if you have a semi. That's another interesting point. So exactly, Toyota killed the gas RAV4. It killed it, so now it's going to be hybrid only, which is quite interesting, and that's probably why the lineup is now hybrid or plug-in hybrid. No pure gas version exists anymore of the RAV4. It's going to be gone forever. So if you want that, then of course you need to go to the used market. A bit like if you want Tesla Model X or a Tesla Model S now, you need to go to the used market because Tesla doesn't make anymore. The PHEV, so that's like, I think, plug-in hybrid EV. Yeah, there's so many acronyms. Does 48 to 52 miles on electric alone, which is, it's not a lot, but for a city car or a second car, and that's what a lot of people are saying that you buy these plug-in hybrids for. It's a city car. You don't go do like long range or anything like that. That way you can always plug it, and you don't really need to use the gasoline a lot, like in the Chevy Volt. That's why one of the reasons we sold it is that we would either never plug it in, never put gas in it when we were in the countryside, because we had a house and then we could just plug it all the time, so the gas goes stale, and that's not great. And then, well, the reverse happened. So when we moved into like a residential building and like all these things, then there's no place to plug it. So your generator is just working on the gas all the time, and you don't plug the battery pack, let's call it like that. So in both cases, it's not great. It's better to have the both. If you can, then that's where this hybrid is the best because you don't want to kill the battery and you don't want to leave the gas there hanging for too long in the gas supply chain, so it doesn't go bad. Meaning that hybrids are doing something right now, and that's interesting because when we started Piper Unplugged back like 2 years ago, it had another name: Two Girls, One Electric Car, and Tesla Supercharger Review, and Tesla Supercharger Adventure. Some people, when we did the podcast, were actually saying that hybrids might have a bigger like leeway, but in the long term, because of course a lot of people invested money in the full electric, and full electric still cooler. I mean, it was like, oh wow, you can go full electric, like you go to the extreme first, right? And then pulling back into this this hybrid version can make sense for a lot of people because the price of gas, and for people who don't want full electric. For some reason, we're in 2026 and people freak out still about electric cars. I have no idea how come it takes so long. I mean, it's been like 2012 was the first Roadster, I think, from Tesla. So it's been like over 10 years. We're going to be close to 20 now. And still people are not kind of all on board with this. Yeah, so that's when the car doesn't see the lines. It's okay, we're live. Hello, Denny. Thank you for being here. I grew up on the border of Canada here in Detroit. Oh yeah, that's great, because Detroit was like actually the car industries, and I did the last podcast we did on While You Wait was all about building a Canadian electric car, and the fact that a lot of industries from Detroit, because Detroit was car manufacturing city, right, went to Canada, and so a lot of the U.S. cars are produced in Canada. Not anymore. Like there's a lot of that closed and all of that because of the tariffs and everything that's been going on in general. So that's cool, interesting. That's from Split Twig. And then Split Twig says, there are over 2.5 trillion trees on Earth, more than all the stars you see at nighttime. Oh, that's good to know. Uh-huh.
We heard that in the documentary.
You heard that in the documentary? You remember which one? Huh. Was it on, what's it called, that guy, Veritasium? Something like that? No? Okay. Well, thank you for the fun facts. It's always great. Way better than all the rest of the stuff that we sometimes get. So the hybrid might be the next thing, but I think it's a slow burn. It's not like, oh wow, everybody embraces hybrid. They've always been there. They're probably always gonna be there. And then there's people who want full electric. There's people who are against it, so they'll still go gas all the way, depending where you live too. And if you're in a very rural place in northern Canada and there's no superchargers and there's no so you can plug, but it's gonna take you like 4 days to fill up your vehicle, then I understand that it's not the greatest thing for you because the logistic of it all, not great. I mean, hybrid could be a way to go, so you decide if you plug or if you put gas, depending on how far you're going. I mean, today, as I'm speaking right now, it is Father's Day, and we've been out all weekend shooting some content. And I have to say, there's a lot of people at all the superchargers, all the gas. And it's just, yesterday we tried to find a motel. There wasn't even any motels that had vacancies. Ended up going to a hotel. Well, Comfort Inn, which is kind of a hotel, I guess you could say. But, sorry, I needed to unplug my ears. But yeah, so it's very busy, and so some people might prefer this kind of option to have both, so that you, depending on where you are, you're not stressing out. But a lot of people tend to stress out before the stuff actually happens. So far we had no problem with the Tesla road tripping, and we're not the people that had road tripped the most with a Tesla. There's many other YouTube channels that have wow, kilometers and kilometers. We met a guy at a Tesla supercharger yesterday, the day before yesterday, that said that he actually changed his battery after 170,000 kilometers on it. Yeah, had it changed by Tesla and still has free electricity, so that's cool. So what else is driving people to hybrids? for sure. I mean, it's gas. There's no other way. You pay if you're willing to pay like 40 grand for a car, and you're like, oh, I need to pay all this gas. Then maybe you're gonna be like, well, if I plug it at home, it's gonna cost me a lot less. And if you can plug it at your work and it's free, I mean, there's all these loopholes. You can even in some provinces ask for money back because of the incentives. But also, there's like if you have a business, you can deduct some of the electricity from your house, and you can deduct some of the kilometers from your road trips because you use it for your business. It's not a double whammy, but almost. I mean, because you can't double deduct, but you are deducting part electricity and then you're deducting your kilometers. So it's like, it's pretty great if you can have that structure at home. So Canada averages out about $1.61 per liter right now, and mid-June it was $1.73. It's going down a little bit. Yeah, it is. Plus Vancouver like has the highest prices in the country in Canada. That's why there's a lot of Teslas in Vancouver. There's actually a lot in Vancouver for that reason, and I'm guessing also the fact that, well, temperature is pretty good. So even at the beginning when Tesla started, it doesn't get really cold downtown Vancouver. It gets to 0 degrees Celsius, -5, like very rare. So you're not seeing that huge battery depletion when it's not like -20. -20 can cost you like 30-40% of your battery. But again, newer models now have a lot more efficiency, so the battery will deplete a lot less. You might lose like 10%. And did you know, because I learned this doing this podcast, that a gas car will also lose efficiency and energy when it's cold out. Approximately, from 5 to 10%, if I recall correctly. It's just that you don't see that in the gas car because it's not telling you, hey, you know what, your gas is not going to last you as long. It goes that way. But if you have an app and you're really like going for efficiency and all that stuff, then gasoline in very cold climate also is giving you less mileage for the same amount as if you were in hot weather. So see, I think there's just some stuff that people don't know, but it's the same for gas and EV. And we still need the technology to get to a point where we can have a pretty similar, price tag, and then also similar charging experience. So filling up your gas car and filling up your EV would take about 5 to 10 minutes for both. And that'd be great. And it exists right now. There's some superchargers that are super fast. Like you can in 5 minutes get almost to 80% of your battery. So we're there. And then so yeah, people prefer, I guess, to pay in advance. So they prefer for a car like an hybrid or an EV where they won't have to pay for gas later. And that's a bit funny, but it's a bit like paying up front instead of paying later. Because if you ask me, I'm gonna say that to you all the time. I said it to everyone, and I'm keeping to my word on this one. If you buy the cheapest gas car out there and you put gas in it forever until you die, until your grandson dies, you're still not gonna cover 20 grand. Unless you drive a lot, but it's crazy. Okay, so there's this guy that I just interviewed earlier in Blind Bay, and he said that to fill up, he had a huge F-150, and it was mounted on the side. He had like a rack that was all metal, so very big. He said he put $500 in it, and it's diesel too. It's diesel. He put $500 in it, and that was in the US, and it didn't even fill the tank. Imagine that. But I think those ones do have a big tank. I think they can go 1,000 kilometers or something like that. Like it's 600, 700 kilometers. So they're bigger. Just so you know, if you have, here we'll check it out. Who do we have in here? Waiting for the Gordy R International Bridge to open up over here. It looks pretty good. Oh yeah, that's the bridge between Canada and the US, right? Yeah. There's a bit of problems with that. Some of the parts, some of Canada needs to pay for, then the US, and then we're not sure what Trump is doing about it. I think Mark Carney's pretty on board with it though so far, right? It's not really
waiting for Trump.
Yeah, waiting for Trump. I got a friend that owns an electric Mustang. Oh yeah, a real cowboy. And she said it will drive for 3 hours on the freeway, and then she has to stop for a couple hours to charge it. That is true if you full charge. And that's the thing. That's the thing that I've learned, not the hard way, but by traveling a lot. I never full charge. First, it's really bad for the battery, and second, um, it's way more efficient, logistically but time framely too, to just charge it to what your car tells you to charge it. Now, I don't know the Mustang, I haven't driven it, but the Tesla usually tells me to charge. Like right now, we're doing about an hour and a half, almost 2 hours, and we're gonna stop to charge for about 25 minutes. So I can do, and this freeway here on the Coquilala is very up and down, so that drains more the battery, just like it costs you more gas, same thing. So usually I stop every hour and a half, 2 hours, and I only stop for 20-25 minutes. So enough to get some water, take a little walk, I get myself a coffee if I need to. But it's very rare that I fully charge it. I mean, I know some people want to get to where they want to right away super fast, so they want to do 6 hours on the highway. I'm not like that. We've done some days where we've done like 700 kilometers in one day, and that was fine. Like, that was fine because we stopped every 2 hours ish, sometimes 2 hours and a half. And I like this. I like stopping. I don't like being in the car all the time. But again, I'm not trying to get somewhere. I'm trying to do everything all at once. Um, hey dude, that great big cars. Do you speak English, or is that just like, yeah, that was weird. I need translation on that. um, Also, the thing is, okay, so getting back to the hybrid RAV4, it averages about 170,000 miles, which is a really good amount. Like, meaning that this longevity is pretty good. I mean, it's Toyota, so a lot of people trust the brand already. And many can hit up to 200,000 miles. We're talking miles, not even kilometers. So I guess people also, like, trust the brand. It's good reputation, and that's why they see value in maybe buying a used one that's gasoline, or buying even a used hybrid, because I know it's gonna last them for long if they take care of it like any car. But even that, I mean, 170 miles for, oh, there was an accident there before. Now it's just, is it accident? Well, maybe just chilling out. So yeah, that's quite the thing. I mean, would you buy a RAV4? Do you think that's a car you would look into as a hybrid version? Have you actually owned one? Those are all questions I have. Because unless you have like a really old like SS or a really old Mustang, I mean, you're talking 90s, 70s, then you can definitely sell it for probably more than you purchased it. Vintage classic car, you know how much it costs you to just store that thing and take care of it for 20 years? And that's more than 20 years, like 50 years now. Well, like, that's the thing. It's huge. So that's just my take on it, and I find it interesting that hybrids might slowly but surely be creeping up on us for, well, energy, environmental, and gasoline like reasons. So we'll see where that leads us in the future. I'm almost at my supercharger, so I'm gonna need to leave you guys, because while you wait to charge your vehicle, you listen to me, but while I do it, I need to actually do some videos and photos. So I'm gonna go do that. If you find this interesting, and if you would like to know more about electric vehicles or about things related to electricity, drop a comment, because I'm learning as I'm doing this, and you're learning too with me. So I like to have these open discussions, and we'll definitely do a lot more of those, because that's what we're aiming for. Perfect. So thank you for being there, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.